and then we'll see. I think maybe Monday and Tuesday next week, but I'm not sure. And then after the first of the year, we'll be back. We'll be back at it. We'll be back at it weekdays at 3. Oh, Saturnalia, Julie. Yes. Oh, Phil, you're saying it's Festivus. Is it Festivus? Multi-slackers. I like it. Yes, Jen, everyone understands you're a big deal. Of course, we talk about it all the time here at our house. So Belinda and Fanula are up in Big Bear having a little vacation. We had some friends who bought a cottage up there, and it was available to us Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night. But Fanula started a new basketball thing on Sunday or on Saturday. Anyway, so she's going to be back for basketball on Wednesday, and I said, I can stay here with Fanula to take her to basketball, or I just didn't want to go because I've got to cook for Christmas, and I was like, I've got all the recipes that I'm doing and all of that stuff, and I should take some pictures of those. I picked out the menu, and I meant to bring it in here with me, or the rest of the book, the recipes in with me, but I'll post those in the chat after the show today. So I wanted to prep for cooking, and I wanted to do my swim in the ocean and go for my bike rides, and I didn't want to try and pack in a trip right before Christmas. But I did say to Belinda the day before they were going to go up, I said, look, if you want, I'll go up there, or if you want, you can have a time on your own in a cabin, or maybe mother-daughter trip. She didn't think that Fanula would take her up on the mother-daughter trip, but when Fanula was interested in that, it was a very sweet thing. And so they're off on a mother-daughter trip, and I am here watching the Matrix movies and looking at cookbooks for Christmas. So everyone is happy. I had a great swim today. We only have one car, so Belinda and Fanula have the car. My friend came over in his new Porsche, took me to the grocery store in his Porsche. We were going to stop at Costco for toilet paper, but holy moly, the line at Costco was unbelievable. So, so they were, so we waived it. Lots of grievances to air in 2020 for Festivus. Yeah. Well, I'm just checking back in with the comments. Yes, Cindy, hello. Greetings to you. A lot of support for taking the rest of the week off. That's nice. Just got word, Cindy. You're saying just got word your nurse sister gets her COVID vaccine #1 on Wednesday. Congratulations. I am so happy for you. That is really, really great. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit of time. You may have been here. Hope things are well on the East Coast. You're not too cold. Went for a swim in the ocean today. Fanula and Belinda are off. I've got my recipes. It is Motivational Monday, but I thought since this is our Christmas party, I'd have a little Christmas cheer. Usually I have this on Friday. We'd have a drink, but I was at the grocery store with a friend a bit of a while ago. I'm down to here on the Christmas cheer. I got this Japanese whiskey because when I was on tour with Russell, we had some whiskey in Tokyo that was so good. So I tried this Japanese whiskey. It's quite nice. So I'm going to raise a glass of Christmas cheer to us here on our Monday. I'll give you a chance to get your glasses ready. I've got mine here, and we'll do that in a bit. It's Motivational Monday, so I want to talk about that for a minute, and then I'll get on to the menu, and then we'll have our drink. So today, as I mentioned here on the show before, one of the things I like to do is we get the New York Times book review, and I like to read the New York Times book review, and a lot of times it gives you great ideas for books that you're interested in reading, or it gives you an overview of a book that maybe you're not going to read the whole book, but you get some nice ideas out of that book. And let's just fire this up in honor of Lady Jerry, who's not here right now. There we go. Oh, Jen, you like that whiskey? Yeah, I found it to be really nice. It's Suntory whiskey, Toki. And they do have that whiskey at Costco, Ed. Well played, sir. That is where I got it. So, too cloudy in Minnesota to see the planets. I don't know if we'll be able to see. I don't think we can see them here for where we are, but I'll have to talk to Lady Jerry after the show and remind her to have a look. They're up in the mountains where there's less light, or they're closer to the stars. Closer to the Stars. So one of these books, the New York Times book review from a couple of weeks ago had a lot of books about World War II. Now, I'm not a big World War II guy. Winston Churchill is a kind of an awesome, curmudgeon-y, self-righteous, articulate, awesome guy. I like Winston Churchill. I like some of the things he said. So there was an excerpt from Winston Churchill's eulogy for Neville Chamberlain, and Neville Chamberlain was notorious for wanting to appease Hitler or negotiate or to really to look for a peaceful solution to what was going on. And Neville Chamberlain died in 1940. Then Churchill was in charge, was prime minister, and the Brits had to get tough, and people thought Neville Chamberlain was a wimp. But Churchill's eulogy for Neville Chamberlain, I suggest that you look it up. You can read the whole thing on the internet. But this quote that was in the review was this, and there's ellipses in the middle, so they left out a bit. But it says, he's talking about Churchill, and he's talking about looking back, and in retrospect, when we see what Churchill has done, or what Chamberlain has done, he says, in one phase, men seem to have been right. In another, they seem to have been wrong. History, with its flickering lamp, stumbles along the trail of the past, trying to reconstruct its scenes. And this speech has got such great metaphorical imagery like that. History, with its flickering lamp, stumbles along the trail of the past, trying to reconstruct its scenes. And he's talking about how, in retrospect, we see that Chamberlain was wrong and it was dangerous, and he left the Brits vulnerable because they could have been preparing to go aggro from the beginning. But he goes on, Churchill, to talk about how what Chamberlain did was hold true to his higher self and his higher values and follow his conscience, which is something that we don't hear talked about too much nowadays, is our conscience. I mean, that's something from when I was a kid, you would talk about that, your conscience, let your conscience be your guide. And it's something that I think we need to get back to, because if we all don't have a moral compass, we can really run afoul. And certainly there are some people out there who don't have a moral compass and just do whatever they want. But if the rest of us remain true and moral, and even when it's against our political interests, call out someone who is not behaving properly, we'd be a little better off. And so he was talking about how Chamberlain held true to his values of peace and kindness, and he trusted, and he was betrayed by a monster. But he said, later he's talking about Churchill, and he says, the only guide to a man is his conscience. The only thing that we have to guide us is our conscience. And the only shield to a man's memory is the rectitude, which is righteousness, I had to look that up, and sincerity of his actions. The only shield to his memory afterwards, if it turns out that you've misplayed the situation, your shield is the fact that you acted righteously and sincerely in line with your conscience. I thought that was a powerful speech, and an amazing thing for Churchill to be saying about this guy just when they were suffering the brutal consequences of his inaction, to really realize that Chamberlain had been true to himself. And so I hope we're all going to be true to our conscience and ourselves. Oh, I've missed some good things in the some kind of meteor shower. Oh yeah, the Christmas star will be here. Oh, good morning from the Philippines. Noche. Oh, Noche, I think that's how to pronounce your name. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, but I'm sorry that your fiance is not there, and I'm happy that there is someone there, so welcome. Cindy, whiskey is your spirit of choice. Ooh, at times you like black velvet. I like black velvet. Oh, I see. Good enough for Elvis, good enough for you. Well, True words have never been said good enough for Elvis. That peanut butter and bacon sandwich, I think we'd all like to try that once we get off of the bacon popcorn balls that we've got the recipe for in the group chat. And if you're not in the group chat, get into the group chat. Sign up, I'll let you in. Documentary about Churchill, Hitler, Roosevelt, and all the other World War II world leaders on their highs and lows prior to and during World War One. Yeah, I'm sure there was more than one documentary about that, Darren. Last year's office Christmas liquor exchange, I went home with 5 bottles of whiskey, Dave, and drank them in 2 to 3 days. Oh my God, your doctor was not pleased. Your doctor was not pleased. How is your head? That you've been on a prolonged whiskey break since then. I can understand. You must still be okay. Haven't dipped into the 120 proof whiskey pig you got for your 60th birthday, Scott. Yeah, well, I don't know what you're waiting for. If there was ever a year to dip into the whiskey, it's 2020. The planet thing is bright enough to see in urban settings too. Wow, southwest sky at 4:50 Pacific. 4:50 is right after the sunset, but I'll check. I'll check just to the left of where the sun sets. It's tricky since the planets are setting too. Oh. At 7. Okay, well, I'm going to get out there, Ed, and I'm going to take a look for it. Pick, beautiful thoughts from Churchill. A good reminder to us all. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that today. Darren, you like to drink whiskey and wear black velvet. Yes, that's nice. Russ, you're still not funny. Well, give it time. Charlie's saying right there with me, concerned about this country right now. Well, I think there's more good than bad in the world, and I feel like we all have to call on ourselves to trust our conscience and act in a righteous manner, even when it's against our own self-interest, to do the right thing. So we'll do that. Jen, some cool neighbor just dropped off barbecue. Oh man. Won't be typing, but I'm listening. Well, good for you, Jen. I'm thinking about trying to get a ride out to a barbecue tomorrow. My friend's car, Dr. Hoggly Woggly out in the valley. I'm just scrolling down to see if I'm missing anything here. Peanut butter and ketchup. No, thank you on that for a sandwich. I'm with you there, Charlie. All right. Ed, I hope you do get to see the planets, and I'll check in with everybody on Monday. I mean, the show's far from done now, but I can smell. Let's all take a little smell of our whiskey and a little bit of a sip. I'm gonna have a little sip. Well, it's been a weird year. But I think next year's going to be better. I don't know exactly what it's going to be like for live stand-up, and more specifically for me being able to do live stand-up, because as I've said, the club, there was a little bit of a struggle getting the bookings that I wanted prior to the pandemic, and now everybody's going to want to get out there. So I'm going to do my best to get out there and do some shows and hopefully get out and see all of you. And of course, over the week that I have off between now and next Monday, I'm going to do some thinking about, and I'm going to have a little cold brew coffee now with my whiskey. Why not? It's my world. I'm living it. There's nobody here but me. I'm going to go right back in the house and watch some Matrix and look at other kind of action outer space movies to watch tonight. So Bob says, I'm hoping I'll be drinking whiskey later this evening. I have a decision coming this evening on a project I've worked on for 2 years. Wow, Bob. Well, that sounds exciting, and like you've got things going on. I hope that decision goes your way. Darren says, I'm hoping this vaccine makes its way around and normalcy returns and we can start to heal. Regardless, we need to support the president and each other. Yes, we do need to support the president. Well, we need to support each other is what we really need to do. And if you disagree with the president, that doesn't mean that you disagree with everyone who agrees with the president. Man, I got that out in spite of this whiskey. So we got to remember we got to talk to each other. Cindy, when are you coming back to La Crosse for a show? I don't know if that is ever going to happen because I don't think they have a venue there that wants me. but maybe, you know. Dave, I used to roll around everywhere with iced coffee and whiskey mixed together. Yeah, everywhere all the time. This is why your doctor's now involved. Okay, Dave, I get it. Oh, you're saving some tequila for Christmas, Ed. That sounds good. I do like a tequila also. If I have Spectrum, I can get Battle Los Angeles on demand. That's a fun guy action battle movie. Okay, I'll check that out. Battle Los Angeles. I'm up for it. If I get bored and depressed, I can start a briefing anytime. Yeah. I know that you get notifications, but I don't really trust Facebook to notify all the people who have asked to be notified, or either that, or I have startlingly less fans than I thought, because you know I've got thousands of people who like my page, and I don't think they're all being notified every time I go live, or maybe they're busy. Oh, you're expanding the center as we speak. The center. I guess that's your venue there in La Crosse. I see. Jake, I'd love to see you again at Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis. Andrew, that is definitely going to happen. That's one of the places that I'm positive will have me back when I'm allowed to go back and do things. Wow, I've got my Churchill. I've had my whiskey. I've told you about the New York Times book review. What book am I? I'm on the third book of the Three Body Problem trilogy, which is going to be, I think, made into a series for Netflix. So I'm on the third book of the trilogy. They're massive books written by a Chinese author, and I have to say that I'm really enjoying them, but they're thick. And I'm doing the audiobook, which I would recommend, although I'd imagine these books are also quite good to read with your eyeballs, where you look at words written down with your eyeballs, that kind of reading. So I'm recommending that. Oh, you watched the flight attendant a second. The flight attendant. The flight attendant. You're done with that? Okay. Well, that's good to know, Keys. I did give it a good look last night and thought about it, but I think I'm out. PB&J Old Fashioned. Darren, I like this recipe. 1 ounce bourbon, 1 ounce Screwball whiskey, ½ ounce Chambord, 2 shakes orange bitters. Wow. All right. PB&J. I don't think we need whiskey to taste like peanut butter and jelly. Amy, didn't Churchill like a bit of whiskey? I think he did. He was a guy who fought some depression. The Black Dog, he called it. The Black Dogs. The latest season of The Mandalorian and Expanse, the series for Christmas. Yeah, I'm ready to watch The Expanse. I got into that. Lady Jerry was not interested. And I really started loving The Expanse into the second season, and I had to go back and kind of remind myself of the stuff that happened in the first season, because it's really a epic space opera. The Christmas menu. Yes, thank you, Rachel. You've reminded me. I thought there was something I must be forgetting. Well, this whiskey, it's got its upside and its downside. So normally for Christmas, since Hurricane Katrina, I had been having New Orleans Christmas, and the menu's been fairly consistent every year. I make a giant thing of red beans and rice and a giant pot of shrimp etouffee. Now this year it's just the three of us Jerrys and our 4 neighbors who are coming over, two of whom are kids, 14 and 12, and I think one of them's got a shellfish allergy, so there's no shrimp etouffee this year. So this year I'm doing the red beans and rice, and I'm making something out of the Uglasich's cookbook. And now Uglasich's is a restaurant that is now closed, but I used to make a point of going there every time I went to New Orleans. It's run by Anthony and Gail Uglasich, and started by Anthony's father, Sam Uglasich. And so they've got 2 cookbooks out. And they're probably, I don't know if they're reprinting them, but the food there was so great. It was just a joint. It was just a place that you go in, and Anthony and Gail would stand at the counter. You'd tell them your order, then go sit down. They bring you your food. Gail would make you Bloody Mary if that's what you wanted while you sit down and wait for your lunch. Always went there for lunch. And so they've got a cookbook. And that's where I got my shrimp etouffee recipe, but they've got so many other great recipes in the Uglasich's cookbook. So I was looking through both of the Uglasich's cookbooks, along with I've got a couple of other New Orleans cookbooks from, Keys. You tried watching Game of Thrones, it's not your thing. I say, yeah, you gotta try again. Yeah. Oh, Amy, yes, the Nola Christmas idea it's a great one. So everybody who comes over loves it because it's also very flavorful, kind of rich food that makes you just happy and you want to lay down after. So usually we would have the red beans and rice, shrimp etouffee, and then the spinach madeleine, which I also make for Thanksgiving, I make for Christmas. So this year I'm going to make red beans and rice, I'm going to make shrimp etouffee, and then out of the Uglasich's cookbook I found this recipe that involves peppers, creamed corn, and tomatoes. They call it hakan, Hakan. It's a side dish. So I'm gonna make this corn side dish, and I'm also gonna make a sweet potato. I think this is this is actually out of my parents have gone to assisted living at this place called Carolina Bay in Wilmington, North Carolina, and they've done this thing that that groups of older people do all the time, where they go, hey, let's make a cookbook of the favorite recipes of the people who live in Carolina Bay. And so it's just a thin little book, but everybody contributes one. My mother contributed these oatmeal cookies that she got the recipe to from my my aunt, and they've got oatmeal and coconut. They're really good oatmeal cookies. I love them anyway. And so that's my mother's recipe that's in the Carolina Bay cookbook. And there was another recipe in there for a sweet potato casserole that looked pretty good, that's got a crumbled pecan crust, crust on top crust. So it's sweet potatoes, brown sugar, and I think honey, and then on top there's a crushed pecan crust. So it's a bit like a pie, but without the pie crust underneath. And I could have bought a graham cracker crust to put in it, but I think I'm just going to make it as the recipe calls for it, and that's going to be that. And then I'm also going to grill some Louisiana spicy sausages that I get at Costco that are so good. It's the ones that say Louisiana on them. If you go to Costco, Louisiana hot sausages from Costco, so good. Everybody who comes over loves them. So I'm going to grill some of those sausages, and then we're going to have the red beans and rice. We're going to have the spinach madeleine. We're going to have the hakan, the cream corn dish, and I'm also going to have my daughter make some cornbread. It says use Paul Prudhomme's cookbook, autographed for cranberry relish that we fix each Christmas, Thanksgiving. K. Paul's introduced us to martinis made with jalapeno soaked gin. Ooh, I bet that is tasty. So yeah, I think the pie is going to be good. So I'll take some photos of these recipes and I'll stick them in the group chat. Andrew, come on, Jake. I didn't hear you mention cheesy scallop potatoes. Got to have them, buddy. Hey, Andrew, if I can get Belinda to make those again, we're definitely doing them. But I feel like the amount of food that I'm making already for 7 people is going to be a little OTT. So we'll do our best. But yeah, if Lady Jerry is into the scallop potatoes, we're going to do that. On Christmas, Uma is going to make 50 meals for the homeless. Keys. That is so awesome. Or I should say, Uma, that's so awesome. Well done, you. Oh, so Christmas Eve. Fadula likes to make a Christmas Eve dinner. So we'll see what she's going to make. Look, we'll see what I'm going to make for dinner tonight, because I'm on my own till tomorrow. Do have a bit more of this whiskey. Maybe I'll have another whiskey. But not for dinner. Whiskey for dinner. Come on. But it is tasty. So I thought about doing a show that would have been a year in review. So maybe I'm going to think about that some more before Monday. Just not the year in review, but this show year in review things that we've. Holy crap! That whiskey. Talk about some of the things that we've talked about on the show. So maybe we can do that. We can reminisce about some of our favorite things that we've talked about on the show. Maybe we'll do that on Monday if you guys are up for that. Today's question out of the question box today: what's the secret to staying young? And I'm glad you asked. I think you've got to try and be happy. Dancing, very important. People don't realize, there's a lot of people who think that they can't dance, and whether you're good at dancing or not is kind of irrelevant in my book. What you lack in ability, you compensate for with enthusiasm. That's the Jake School of Dancing right there in a nutshell. You go enthusiastic, you go vigorous, you smile, you engage with other people. No matter how good of a dancer you are, people will love that you showed up. So dancing is a secret to staying young. I'm enjoying other physical activities. The jiu-jitsu's been good for keeping me young. Be friends with younger people. Do things that younger people do. Don't rule yourself out on activities that you're interested in just because of your age. And of course, take it easy on the whiskey. Well, I'm just scrolling up here. The magic of Chef Paul Perdome. Yeah, that's truly amazing, Jake. This is a really cool thing you thought up. We appreciate it. I think you're saying that, Darren. I didn't see before then, but I hope that's what you're talking about. The idea of Monday, we'll talk about some of our moments, things that we like on the show. That would be good. Real quick, if any ideas, keep up with our naked rollerblading panda here in Columbus. We're going kayaking through downtown Wednesday and looking for inspiration. Wow. Giant pimp hats. I think any kind of ridiculous hats, Dave, is good. And bicycling, skimpy clothes. Jen, has anyone heard of the tradition of lighting a bayberry candle on Christmas Eve? Or has my weird family been doing that for 50 years for no reason? Well, Jen, I doubt that it's for no reason. In fact, it may be the reason that everything is going as well as it is. So don't stop. Don't stop. Also, keep hydrated. Yep, that's a good one. Have more fun. Enjoy your life as much as possible. Flavia is saying, despite your hardships. Yeah. Jen, I find my lack of maturity keeps me astoundingly young. And I think that's true. That's both a joke and a fact. You miss Lady Jerry, maybe a couple more rips on her behalf to tide us over till next week. Yeah, all right. That's easy as said, as done. Can you wear a white suit and dance for us next Monday? I don't know, but I'll pick out my outfit for Monday. We'll do a little bit of dancing maybe. Chew gum with your mouth open, just like young people do. Uma, well, you got to do what you got to do. Dance like Elaine. I guess the Elaine dance. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't think I saw as many Seinfelds as I should have seen. Keys, your dancing is so bad you want to dance off at the Conan O'Brien show. Well, congratulations. And that's not. There is the quality of dancing between good dancing and bad dancing. It's not just a line. It's a circle. So the more bad you are at dancing, you can wind up back as a good dancer. So you got to just go with it. Oh, the Bayberry candle is lucky. I'll have to get one of those. Where's that suit I got for the SF corporate gig? Yeah, Brad, I do have a funny outfit if it's warm enough on Monday that I'll wear for the year in review show, because it's kind of a funny kind of a tuxedo. So let's dress up for Monday for the year in review show. Dance like there's a gerbil in your shorts. Dance like you're a gerbil. This move, the gerbil feeding move is also a good one. Now, I'm just going to finish the whiskey at the end of the show. Maybe not quite. Leave myself a little swallow for when I'm sad that you're gone. So I'm looking forward to Monday's show. Let's all enjoy our week and our Christmas holiday. I can honestly say that that this year would have been so much worse if it hadn't been for this show and all of you. And I know that I say that before, so I'm saying that again. Ed, you won the pre-show audience dance at Conan too. Wow, you have the shirt to prove it. Holy cow. Well, these are all photos that should be in the group chat. So Merry Christmas to everybody. I look forward to seeing you all on Monday. I'll be up for an appearance. I'm going to enjoy my time off. I'm going to miss you guys a little bit. So if you're missing me, trust that I'm missing you. This whiskey probably be gone by next Monday. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be true to your conscience and act with righteous sincerity as often as you can. And don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. If this year hasn't proven that, then I don't know what it has proven.